Hello. What's up? Another one. We have another stream. So it's release day, everybody. Second song on the album. Hold up. Yo. Jacob. Hello. What's up? How's it going? What's going on? Oh shit, I forgot there's filters on here. What the hell? Yo, it's release day, everybody. Released a new tune. Oh, what's this one? Oh, this looks sick. Whoa, what the? Yo. Oh, that's cool. Yo, QUO. So, okay, QUO's here. Hey, QUO. Come in here. All right, I'm gonna see if you can join. So, QUO, the other singer on Little Bamboo, is here.
Hello, Mike in
Yo,
here? Yo, what's
yeah.
good?
Hey.
How's
How
it
you
going?
doing, bud?
I'm chilling, vibing out.
Oh,
I
damn.
I put so much preparation into this big meeting of the minds.
Yeah, you got a mustache now. I don't remember you having that
Oh
before.
yeah, I was shaving all that shit, but then my girlfriend was like, grow it out, and I was like, okay. That's the first time I've had facial hair since like 2019, and I've been getting a lot of compliments on it, so I think I might stick with it for a little bit. I think we're matching actually.
Yeah, a little bit.
I got the
Damn,
clips
that's
going on.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm happy. Like, I'm happy with this whole release and everything. So, first thing I want to bring up, I already messaged you about this, but how do you feel about being a rock in the music video?
I fucking love it, dude. I feel like I know you said you thought I was gonna be upset, but I feel
Yeah.
like it's honestly like seeing the little dude and the way that the way that you guys designed him is so sick. Like and like
Oh, yeah.
whatever's on top of him is like pink. It's like flowers and shit. It's fucking perfect.
hmm Yeah, so Josh designed the little rock guy. He took like spray foam or something like that, and he decorated it with all like plants and whatnot, and just threw them on top. So,
Dude, yeah.
yeah.
Josh is so sick, and you guys together are like it's so fun watching it because I feel like at your heart it's just like two kids from high school like
Yeah,
making
it's
music
literally
together.
that's literally what it is. I
You
mean,
guys
we're
like
still like kids,
just
you know,
making your
just
art projects and shit. Like I wish
exactly.
I had people to do that with. Like I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out, but I feel
Yeah.
like I don't have that kind of that person in my life that I can just be like, you want to make like a music
An art
video right
project.
now and just
Yeah.
like yeah, actually follow through too.
Honestly, I didn't expect us to still be like this. Like even a few months ago when we first started when we did the first music video, I didn't expect us to like be so motivated to do it. I just kind of invited him to do it, and I was like, "Hey, you want to make a music video?" And he's like, "Sure." And so I bought a camera, and then we just went ham. And it's crazy because it's like it's not his project. He was so happy to do it because he wanted something else to do because he's
Yeah.
really like artistic and he's great
Right.
with doing paintings and stuff. But
Yeah.
he got bored of it. So I came to him and I was like, "Hey, let's do a music video." And he was all for it because it's something creative, like a new creative
Yeah.
outlet for him to
Yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw his actual like his paintings and shit, and that kid like is like pretty much Bob Ross level. Like he's like working his way towards that, like his mountains,
Yeah,
his rivers and shit. Like that's
yeah.
sick. I can tell like if he has any like minutia of the amount of like creative energy that you have, like I can imagine him like needing somewhere to put it if he got tired of fucking like painting. And I
Yeah,
think,
it's so funny. It's so funny because I was telling him to get on like DeviantArt or something to like get online. He's so like he hates uploading stuff to the internet and stuff. So like he
yeah,
doesn't know anything. Like he doesn't have a computer. He doesn't like even know how to operate his smartphone most of the time. He's like an old person.
yeah.
But he's just kind of funny because he's got all this art and he's like, man, I wish there was a way I could share this artwork and just
Yeah,
like get criticism on him. Like, well, there's sites. You
yeah.
could figure it out. There's ways to do it.
I feel like you guys are doing it right though, because like You
Mhm.
know, like you're kind of like helping him work his way into like, you know, whatever scene this is like showing like there are other ways that he can like put his like other outlets that he can put his creativity into. And he's
Right.
really good at it. Like I feel like he just like picked up the claymation thing and just like started doing it. I don't even know like has he ever even done it before? Or
Oh,
like
me and him, it was our first time doing claymation.
he's
So
fucking sick
we
too.
built so just for anyone that's joining, because I know there's a few of you in here. So who we're talking about right now is this guy named Josh Myers. He's my good friend. He helped do the first music video for Cabin Fever, and then he also helped me film Little Bamboo music video. So if I'm in front of the camera, a lot of the times he's like doing the camera work. What tends to happen though is if I'm not in front, like if I'm not on, on screen, I'm probably the one dealing with the camera. Just because we both have our own like way of looking at things, I guess, which is kind of neat. But yeah, so Josh Myers is the person that helps out with that. But yeah, so like me and him when we first like, well, I brought up the idea to him to do like stop motion, and I've never done anything like that before. And I was like, well, we could like make something out of clay. And I was trying to like research stuff. So I looked up like an armature, which is like a metal, it's like ball bearing, like skeleton type thing. And there's like certain type of clay you got to use to like pack around it to make it into a character. And
Yeah.
so like we tried to do it the first time. We literally spent like 2 days just like crafting it and trying to figure out like what to do with it. And honestly, it did not turn out that good the first time because it was just like, we didn't know what we were doing. So then, like I said, you know what? I'm gonna take this home and I'm gonna spend like as much time as I can to like try and build this so it looks
Yeah.
somewhat normal.
There
So I
is
brought it back to my house and tried to work on it. And I finally made something that was decent, and that's the one that's in the music video. The
yeah.
problem was the clay that we used wasn't like, I guess, the proper type of clay you're supposed to use. And honestly, we just didn't know what we were doing because it kept falling apart. So
Yeah.
like throughout the music video, if you look, there's like there's like a part in the music video where there's like piece of like the blue clay that he has on underneath like his clothing that's like just sitting in the grass, and I completely forgot about it. And I like looked back on the footage and there's like little clumps of clay that had like
Yeah.
fallen out.
With
So
like little Kuch balls like hanging
yeah,
out
yeah, yeah.
around the field. Dude, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, fucking
It's like just
claymation
falling apart.
is like definitely like one of the most tedious forms of animation. And the fact that you guys just like picked it up and like figured it out. Dude, hey guy, today I released Snow Toucan's song Little Bamboo came out today. So go check that out. It's really sick. Also Patrick Canal's fucking Little Bamboo release. Everybody released a song called Little Bamboo today.
Oh, that's so sick.
Yeah, it's like National Bamboo Release Day. But fucking
No,
really nice, man.
he's saying the bung. The bung is another term for
The
JKuch.
bong,
So
dude. That's
yeah, the
that's
bung.
that's big. That's an old inside joke for me too. I don't know. Like it was funny. Like because you posted a picture of you that like I would have made to like a couple of years back for some reason. That was like we had a bung inside joke.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah.
Honestly, I didn't even come up with that joke. That was like Snow Toucan and a few others from the Discord server. So,
Dude, the
but
bung is
it
here.
works out. It's pretty good.
The bung is alive
Um,
and well.
yeah, exactly. So, the one thing I wanted to bring up. So I don't know for whoever's joining, and we've got a few people in here. So I don't know if a lot of you guys can tell. Like I've had so many people respond, or at least even before, like before the song came out, there was like a lot of people that could not tell who was singing in the song for some reason, which honestly I was very upset about because I feel like we have. I mean, maybe this is just because how we are. Like we already know how our voices sound, so like obviously we
Yeah.
sound different. But I had a few people that were like, "Wait a minute, there's two singers in there." I'm like, "Yeah." Like yeah, we're two different singers. You know, you can't really tell, and they're like, no, not really. And I'm like, oh shit. Well, so in the music video, that's why I tried to make you a character because I really wanted people to understand that we're totally different people. Like I
Yeah.
literally showed my friend the music video before it was done, and your character started singing, and I was like, yeah, that's my friend QUO, and he's like, what? There's another singer in this? I'm like,
Damn,
what
yeah,
the?
I guess it isn't. I guess it isn't as easy as I thought it was to distinguish our voices. I feel like in my head I was thinking since you go from like a chest voice and then I like it swaps over into a falsetto when I come on because then I'm
Yeah,
like doing the like the fairy voice and shit. Like
yeah,
I thought that would make sense, but I think because we basically sing like in the same pitch For most
Uh,
of the song, it's just I'm singing it in like a dip in my throat voice, and you're singing your chest voice, like chest voice the whole time. That maybe that's like,
I think actually because I swap to when I do like my little rappy sort of verse in
yeah,
the main hook or whatever. Um, I swap to like a falsetto sort of thing. So I think that's also why. Like toward the it's kind of a weird transition because then I end in falsetto and then you start in falsetto, I think.
yeah,
So
that's true.
or head voice or whatever, you know. So
Something. I
yeah,
don't.
dude. But yeah, I'm super happy with this release. I think this is like one of the ones I was looking forward to for a really long
Yeah,
time.
this is like definitely. It's the first time that like I've been like making music and shit since like I was in fucking high school, and this is the first time that like I like reached out to somebody that I actually like was a fan of their music, and they reached back out to me, or like, like
Right.
I was fully expecting. My girlfriend like told me to like reach out to you because like I would always play your music in the car and shit, and just
Yeah.
like, and then like finally she was like, you should just like see like if you could like you could talk to him or something. And I was like, no way. Like it never works because like it literally never fucking like everybody that I've reached out to is just like, you know, doing their own like doing other shit. Like everybody's always like doing a lot of like artists are always working really hard and shit. So it was like
Yeah.
amazing that you actually like worked me into your your time like with everything that was going on because you were
Oh,
just releasing
absolutely.
like multiple singles too at the time. So I was like, can't believe like this actually worked out for the first time. So thank you for that, by the way. It's
No
fucking
problem, dude. You'd be surprised because I'm not like, you can reach out to a lot of people. Like sometimes like I feel like you get used to like you like try and reach out to one or maybe a few people, it seems like say you like look up to an artist or whatever. And then you
yeah,
try and like reach out to them and then they don't reply. So a lot of the times you just assume they're like no one's going to reply. So then you're like, all right, well it's not worth it. Like,
yeah,
obviously they don't have enough time. But dude, I have plenty of time for, well, I mean, not really, but I have time to like chat with people.
yeah,
And the thing is, it's really all based on how you approach it, right? Because if you're a musician, say you like, you're busy working on songs, but say like say
hey,
someone just drops a
collab.
link into your DMs,
Yeah,
yeah, or collab, right? Then that's a little different. And like, I'll still respond to like people that ask for collabs and stuff. But the thing is, like, I was telling a lot of people, like even some good friends of mine, like that want to work with me, I tell them, and this is a true story, is like I have like 4 years of a collab list that I still have to get to.
yeah,
So honestly, like the only thing I can do is add you to the list. And to be honest, I don't know how soon I'm gonna get to like the past 4 years of collabs. So like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Well, I didn't go into it like expecting it to even like spiral into what it did. Like I was just like, like I just like wanted to like like tell you
yeah,
like how much like your music like became a part of my life throughout the years. And then I guess like then it was nice being in the Discord community and shit and like talking to everybody in there because everybody in there is super cool too. And then like
yeah.
like seeing the process like being more involved and like watching your streams and shit like seeing how you go about everything like that was all cool. And then like the fact that like it even became what it did is so fucking
Absolutely. You never know. Like that's the thing. Like because you reached out, like now we have this amazing song. Speaking of that, so Harry, if he's still in here, I want to make sure he's still in here. Please don't leave, Harry. Oh shit, he just left. God damn it. I didn't want to interrupt you, but Harry, so the one that says "What up" in
yeah.
the comments, he was at my show in Chicago, and
Oh, word.
I played Little Bamboo live before it came out, and
Yeah.
Harry was there, and I have a video of it. I'll send it to you later. But he's
Okay.
standing there. Man, I wish he was here.
Wait, was he the guy that was like,
Yeah, he had his arms crossed and he was just sitting there like he
yeah,
was listening to the song and he was so amazed. He was so amazed like with the song. He was just mind blown and he was just standing there and he listened to the whole song. It was basically like the end of the song. He just like was in deep thought. Like he wasn't dancing or anything. He was just like
yeah,
in a meditation mode.
just paying his full attention? I thought
Yeah,
it wasn't like what is it Tidco? How do you say his name?
it's
TYGKO.
yeah, it's TYGKO. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, he was there too. I thought that was him for some reason because I think in that video you had
He
like
was there. Well, you know what? He recorded it. It was on his Instagram
oh
story.
okay. Yeah,
hmm
that's
And
where I
then
kind of paid attention.
he was singing along to it as well. He's singing along to the hook.
Yeah.
he didn't even know what the words were, but like I had shown it to him for a few days, and even for like the few times that I played it for him, it was like stuck in his head, and
Yeah.
he was humming, he was like singing it while I was performing it. Because like when I was
Right.
performing it, I was like, what the hell? Like I hear people singing along to it, but it's like I don't know how they know what
How
the
how
words are.
wait, who leaked it? Who put it
Yeah,
out?
yeah,
It wasn't me, I
yeah,
promise. I showed it to a couple people, but I don't send no links, bro. I promise.
yeah.
Don't put me in JKuch
No,
jail.
no, that's fine. It's no big deal.
No, I know.
I honestly like overshare unreleased music anyways, so
Dude, Little Bamboo
which I
had
shouldn't do.
like what, like 600 plays or some shit when it was like a private track. I was like,
Yeah,
how? I mean, I
yeah.
think I want to say it was my girlfriend, but I don't think I didn't send it to her. I think she's logged into my SoundCloud account, so I'm like, I know she would listen to it every day before work, so I'm like, that's at least a couple hundred. So yeah, the JKuch
Yeah,
Gulag, dude, like
yeah.
that little thing that you're in that picture that you posted. That's the JKuch Gulag.
Yeah, dude. I know it's crazy. Like honestly, for even though it's like within our little circle, I guess it's kind of crazy how much it was replayed. So that kind of like proved I feel like it was a good song, you know,
Yeah,
if we're re-listening to it that much.
yeah,
So
yeah. Even me,
yeah, dude.
I would like go in there like every time I'm driving, at least like what, because I like drive delivery, so I'll just like go into like the album and just like press play from the start and then just
Hmm.
let it play out. I'm like
Yeah,
listening to
dude.
it all the time.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited for the rest of the album, but this was like I would say Cabin Fever and this one were one of the crazier ones. I mean, we made this like or I started it a year ago.
yeah.
When did we finish? We must have finished it, or at least I finished like the mixing and stuff probably January.
Did
So it's
really?
been
Holy
quite a while.
shit. Oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah. Yeah, it's almost been like what, like yeah, because it was last like spring that I
And
think I
not
did
only
that.
that, it was last like November I sent you or I was having you help me with the vocals and stuff because I had it just as like an instrumental whip, and then I hit you up to help me out.
Yeah, right.
So,
Yeah,
dude,
dude,
that's
it's been.
crazy.
I know. I was thinking about like I don't even like really have a frame of reference. I guess we could just go back into like the Instagram DMs and see like, I mean, there's like a full play-by-play like script of how it all happened. Honestly,
Yeah,
if we it just
yeah,
take a while to figure it out. It'd be like
yeah,
reading the
for
Bible.
sure. Yeah, dude. So, also, for anyone else that's in here, so if you guys don't know who QUO is, I mean, there's only like seven of you. I feel like a lot of you already know who QUO is, but if not, you need to check out his music because he's got like he's insanely underrated. I mean, I don't mean to say he because I'm talking to you. Yeah, you're like insanely underrated. Like I've heard so many songs of yours that I'm like, this just deserves like, it
Oh,
deserves so much.
thanks.
Like
Yeah,
it's
hearing
just
that shit from
so,
you is honestly pretty surreal. I mean, like I always
yeah,
try like I don't want to like put you on a pedestal or anything, but like it was like that was another nice thing too is that you actually like I feel like did like my music and like let me know that it was worth listening to because I'm always like everybody's over listening to their shit and just like
yeah.
this sucks. This is not good. So like I feel like you were like the confirmation that like I was like kind of on the right track.
Oh,
But
absolutely. I
yeah,
think, yeah, that's the thing.
I
You
have
know,
a
people need that.
dude, and I have like 9 songs that are coming
Yeah.
out. YOD's doing the art, and it's fucking insane. It's called Magic Diamond
Oh,
Mystery Adventure, and
wow.
it's like me chasing a diamond, like coming out of a city and shit, and it's like super cool.
Oh my, I'm so excited. Like, I just know it's amazing quality. Like, honestly, I know we probably shouldn't talk about like release strategies, but honestly, like what I'm doing with the album, how I'm kind of releasing the singles, like as all singles, I think would be a really cool idea for you as well,
Yeah,
if you ever wanted to do that. I think that'd be a really good idea so you can focus on each individual one. Because like this whole slow-paced releasing, honestly, no, it's so weird because this is like the most stressful type of releasing though, because it's different like for what I'm trying to do. Like I'm creating all these like different, you know, music videos. I'm trying to create all these like assets for every single song. So I'm like overdoing it, but
yeah.
um
Well, I feel like it's
I,
giving you
yeah.
time to like sort of like focus your energy on that one thing, like
Yeah.
putting like because you don't just want to like drop everything at once because that I feel like it doesn't like lend the credence to the songs individually that they deserve. Like
Right.
I feel like when you drop everything at once, like you don't get to like be like, here, look at this thing. It's actually important to me, rather than it just being like kind of like caught up in the mix of everything else. Like,
Yeah, I also think it's because of how people's attention spans are now. Just like as you know, as everything comes like as what is it? As newer generations or whatever. I sound like an old person, but you know what I mean.
no,
It's
yeah,
everyone's attention spans are gonna get a little lower. So like
yeah,
it's like it's just going to be one of those things where I feel like if you want your songs to be appreciated, not so this is the way I see it. Not everyone's going to be able to sit through an entire album
yeah,
or is
right,
going to want to sit through an entire album. They're
yeah,
going to want to either listen to one song and then move on with their day and do something else
yeah,
or so that's why I think breaking it up into pieces like that and just giving it a month per song makes it
yeah,
a lot easier because now people can listen to the one song and be like, all right, I know that song, and then
mhm,
get it in their heads and maybe listen to it a few times
yeah,
and then move on. And then you can all of a sudden next month, boom, I got another one for you. And it like
right,
helps tell the story like a TV series. That's the way I see it. It's like a television
exactly.
series.
Yeah, I feel like overall, like that, like I definitely like I was only doing singles for a while, so like I'm kind of used to it. But now that I've been like having so many different like songs like in my library like that are slowly starting to build up, and I've been starting to like drop EPs and stuff. I feel like I need to find a way that find a release strategy that is actually like giving each individual song the attention that I feel like they deserve. And like
Yeah.
when I dropped like Are You Awake, I feel like it was just like bam, and then it just like fizzles out, like, you know, because it's just like it's all released already. Like all the talent
Right.
that is just like kind of, you know, dropped there and like hoping that people will hear it. And like, you know,
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
so
always
hard.
like about like how many people hear whatever. Like I've never been like super adamant about it, which is probably my problem. Why I guess and not enough people hear my stuff. But like um but for Magic Diamond, I want to do that. I want to do like the individual release strategy, like, and I just need to figure out how to do it, and it can't be that hard, I'm sure. I mean,
Right.
maybe a little hard, but
Yeah.
we'll
Like
see.
it's I think you definitely deserve it. Like I think you really deserve like the attention per song because, like I said, it's those songs of yours. Like I feel like, and the way I see it is like this, right? And this is probably why like the new releases that I'm going to be doing. Like if I release another album, I'm probably going to do it this way too, right? Just because I know how people are going to end up being, and it may also just be because of like SoundCloud scene and stuff. But like for the amount of time you spend on a song, I feel like maybe you should make your song be seen hoping that all right, people will spend at least a decent amount of time on that one song.
Hmm.
So giving people the opportunity to come back to it to that one song and listen to it a few times, I think is a really good way to go. I feel like also people when they see a bunch of songs, they get overwhelmed and like almost their message they say in their mind is like, I don't have time to listen to this whole album. Like I want to listen to this and appreciate the whole thing.
Right,
So I just don't have time today. Like some people are gonna be like, I don't have time to listen to this entire thing right now.
right. But you
So
have time to throw on a single track while you're just driving, like,
yeah, and they get kind of scared, like, all right, crap, there's an entire album. It's like, I don't even know if I should listen to this whole thing.
yeah.
And like, it's just, yeah,
What time frame does anyone have where they can fit an album into their schedule to just like sit there and pay attention to? Like
yeah,
music is a very passive form of entertainment, I feel like. So
yeah,
if you just like, you know, if you're cleaning your house, like that's like the only thing, or like studying, if you can focus while music is playing, which you probably can't, and driving. So you have like basically three like like versions of time frames where people are able to digest the thing that you made.
yeah,
Whereas with one song, it's just like, oh, like I can just throw this on right now and like pay attention to it for a second, or watch a music video. It doesn't take as much time, you know.
yeah. No, for sure. Like and that's a big reason. That's a big reason why I think the visuals are big now too. Like I never thought that was like a big thing, and I started thinking about that, like how important that is because if you can have something to look at that you can also cling on to, like the cover arts, I forgot what it was. I heard like someone say like I forgot who it was. There was like a celebrity that was talking about how like their kids don't even know what cover arts are or like don't know what like album arts are. they just know what the song is. Like from TikTok, for example, like the
Oh
visuals,
yeah.
they just know they find new music through TikTok, and there's nothing like they don't find it through anything else, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I know that's like it's weird because it's making me sound like I'm old when I'm not, but it's like it's true because like the way music is being consumed, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people won't even look at the cover art or won't even notice it. So it really depends on the type of person.
I feel
So
like yeah, and like I feel like I've been putting like a lot of work into my cover art, and
yeah,
I feel like just to establish myself, like I want something to have that I feel like represents the sound that I'm trying to put out there. But
right.
um yeah, I feel like you're right. I feel like overall, like I spend a lot of money on like cover art and shit, and like the whole process of having that, like it's way more of a part of it than I thought it was. That I feel like goes like largely ignored, for at
Yeah,
least for the amount of like attention I feel like the music gets. Like I
right.
like for YOD's sake, I want to almost like find a way to like have people more listen to music just so they can see his work. You
Well,
know?
you know what? You know what you can do, and this is what I did. I like took, and I call him Yod. I don't know why I call him that. It's just what I've been used to.
I don't know.
YOD
I
is
don't know
probably
how to
what you say.
pronounce it either.
But Yod, so with Yod, I when he did the cover art, I like repurposed a lot of stuff. So even though right now the entire artwork isn't being used, I'm kind of piecing it together for all the different songs. But not only that, I'm using the artwork in the lyric video for Cabin Fever. So
Okay, yeah.
I used it as a background for the lyric video. So I'm kind of
Right,
using it for different purposes. I'm kind of creating an animation with it, or I'm using, because the files are so big, I'm kind of using it for different things. So I'm
right.
able to like repurpose it so Yod can at least get more attention on it and get some
Yeah.
sort of theme going on that can be seen. Like honestly, you can even use his cover arts as like banners, right?
Right.
So on your SoundCloud or like Twitter or Facebook, set up like a banner that says out now or like out whatever release day, and then
Yeah.
use the cover art as the backdrop. And you can have like a zoomed in part of it, not the entire cover art. You can have just like, because he's really good with textures, you could have just like a top corner of the image as your entire background. And that will
Right.
help kind of give the theme and give the color without revealing the entire cover art.
I know
You
there
know,
is
if
like
you want
so
to do that.
much depth. I feel like you could use any corner of like one of his drawings to just like as just a picture in and of itself, like like just like a segment of it is like an entire piece of artwork. The amount of detail
Right.
put into it,
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. Um, hold up. Let me see here. Yeah, dude. We're just everyone that's joining. Who else is in here? A lot of homies are in here. A lot of OGs. Let's see. Let's see. So yeah. Oh, stop motion. Someone brought up stop motion. That's probably a little while back.
Yep.
Stop motion aesthetic. Yeah, stop motion was crazy. Honestly, I didn't get it. Like I didn't. So I did a lot of the stop motion stuff. Like Josh was gonna help out with that, but honestly, it's like a one man job. Like I don't know if you saw the video
Yeah,
of
you're
him.
gonna
Like,
have to have one person like doing the movements.
did you see
Too many
the?
cooks. I feel like spoils the broth with that in that sense.
Yeah, did you see the Instagram story of like him filming me and I'm like trying to take the photos and
Making
stuff?
him do stuff he doesn't want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, so he was sitting there watching me and he was like playing podcast while I was like doing this and my back was killing me. Like I was hunched over trying to
Yeah,
move him little bits by bits and then like not only that the character kept falling over because we had like nailed his foot into the table to like stand him up and the armature that we had it was like not staying in place. So like there's a lot of times where he's just falling over so I was like, "Oh crap, now I got to like try and put him back to where he was and hope that like the next little movement doesn't look too far off." So
yeah,
so
yeah,
it didn't turn out the way I wanted, but to be honest, I think it's kind of like a higher quality Robot Chicken
yeah,
video, and I
yeah.
appreciate it because it still has it still works. And honestly, for a first stop motion video, I'm pretty impressed with it. So
Well,
I'm pretty happy with it.
the fact that it's like every aspect of it was like basically like done by like it's just you two. Like the whole like the song, like the album, like I mean, it's like just you, one person making the whole album and like making that song, and then just you and
Right.
like making a music video and two music videos, which also brings up a question I wanted to ask, which is like, how on earth do you manage like everything, like all of the content that you put out? Like I feel like my day to day like almost doesn't allow me like, or at least like doesn't allow me the time to focus. Like you just
Right.
take one day to do the acoustic video, and then like another day to do the lyric video, and like
Oh yeah, like well honestly like I like literally had to like stop everything. I'm super lucky. I'm in a like a situation where I can like just focus on the album right
yeah,
now. So I've just that's all I've been doing for the most part. And so like doing these music videos, I'm actually mostly working around Josh's schedule. So like when he's not working. So
right.
that's primarily like what I'm working around with. And then like when he's working, I'll edit the videos or I'll like edit a lot of the other stuff that goes into it, make banners and make all these different assets. So I spend a lot of time doing that. And like since I'm new at editing, like I don't know everything in it, it takes me a little longer. So that's a big reason why it takes me so long with some of these too.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, like I really had to like push myself to learn and try and get this stuff done. Like I literally finished the music video yesterday. I
yeah.
didn't even have it all done until yesterday. I had to like cram in like,
Oh
all
yeah,
right.
you had to make like an edit of the song that fit the time of the music video too, which ended up sounding actually really nice. Like that
Yeah, I
last
think
part
that's a
that you
neat
did.
neat thing. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's neat so that people can come back to it and it it ends off nice,
yeah,
and I still feel like it follows somewhat of a story and I feel like it, it matches, but
yeah,
yeah, like for anything that I do for the album, like I'm building the ship as it goes because
yeah,
like, the next release, I don't even know what type of video it's going to be. Like I kind of have an idea, but I don't know what everything's going to go into it. Me and Josh have like been thinking of ideas for months for like each song, but we're still kind of we're just going to see what happens and like I don't know, it makes it interesting that way. It's definitely stressful because another thing too is like, yeah, all this
yeah,
work that we're doing, like, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of like, it's just a lot of work. It's almost like I don't even know if it's worth like putting this much effort into it. But at the end of the day, I kind of look back, I'm like, even if it's like they don't get that
yeah,
much exposure or anything, I'm still
yeah.
like super proud of just like even making them because
Yeah, it's just
that I'm
what you're
almost doing it for
doing
myself.
creatively. Like because like I mean everybody needs to have that thing, and the fact that like you are putting like your time and energy into it, and like it's fun. I mean, you're hanging out with a friend making something. Like that's all I really want to do at the end of the day. Like
Yeah.
when I don't have to be at work, like if I could just like like take a friend along with me and like go build something, or like like make a song with my friend. Like those are my favorite moments in life. Like what else really is there to do other than like
Yeah.
create create cool shit with your friends? Like, and you guys, the fact that you guys do that and do it as well as you do, and like as timely as you do somehow. I'm
Hmm.
struggling to hold my phone up on this Nerf gun.
You
This thing is
got it on a Nerf gun.
yeah, that's my tripod right now.
Oh,
But fucking yeah, like I mean,
yeah.
you guys are where did you find the bamboo, by the way? Because like me and my friend Emily were talking about it. We were like, how how did you just find bamboo in New York? Like,
It's so funny because where he lives, there's this small town that he lives in, and it's like there's a river that like passes nearby, and he like knew there was a spot for bamboo. I was like, "There's no way there's bamboo in New York." And he's like, "Yeah, there's a whole spot where they're growing." I'm like, "What? Like, there's no way there's bamboo growing in New York." And this is like a swampy sort of area, and I've never seen bamboo like this, but it literally is bamboo. Like, I don't know what kind it is.
yeah,
I don't know how it got there, but there's like a whole forest of it. And so we spent the whole day like so the first few days we were filming like the stop motion parts, like we set all of the setup in the basement. So anyone else is joining, so I'm going over the music video for Little Bamboo just in case you guys are coming in late. So how we set up the music video for that was like for especially the stop motion part, we built the whole set out of like real plants. And so Josh, well, he decided to do that, and this was all in his basement. So like that stone backdrop that you have, that's like a cobblestone basement, like
yeah,
an 1800s
yeah, yeah,
house basement. And so we were trying to set it up with an old table that he has, and we like propped this table on like some platforms. And so he's like, all right, let's go get some plants and trees. And he's so smart because he's just like, he knows what to get. He's like, all right, let's go get this and this, and he's great at like setting it up.
Yeah.
He's like the I don't know what the word would be for that, but he sets up everything. Like he knows how to make everything look good.
He's like
So
a project wizard. He's like, we should
yeah,
the quest for the moss,
right,
the cutting of the bamboo.
yeah,
It's like, oh yeah, it's just right over here. We just gotta go
yeah.
down here and grab
So
it.
we drove over to where the bamboo was, and he's like, all right, let's get a bunch of this to make like a whole backdrop. I'm like, I think this will be cool. So we're like, if people saw us, we're literally there like kicking down like these bamboo shoots, and we're literally kicking them down with our feet and like stomping them out. We're just like
It's
kicking
kind of
these things
ironic,
down.
given the concept of the song.
I know, it's so
More
sad. Like
bamboo shoots.
honestly,
Yeah.
I feel terrible because making that set, we killed probably a lot of plants to make that
Bamboo's like,
set.
the skyline's calling me. Oh my god, no! What the fuck? My entire life.
I know, it's
Destroyed.
so yeah, it's like an alternate version of the video. It's like little bamboo looks up and there's like two guys kicking down bamboo trees.
Annoying orange, except it's annoying bamboo, and at the end they just
You're right.
get chopped down by Josh and Josh.
It's so bad though, because like we're even like cutting off like so the bamboo has like little branches sticking out from them, and we're
Yeah.
like, nope, those gotta go, and we're like chopping them off with our hands, and they're so easy to
My
come off too.
branches.
Yeah, we're
No.
knocking up all the branches, and so like it, and even before we left, we just left a mess of like the branches and the leaves that were on it, and it's. I know that's like probably not a good thing to say, but it made a good music video.
Wow.
What can I say?
JKuch is a deforester. What
Literally.
what evil company are you working for?
I don't know, but honestly though, like even at the same time, like behind his house, like there's like these weeds that would grow and it kind of looked like grass. So like in the video, that sort of grass that you see, that was like I don't know what kind of grass it is, but like they're all attached to each other. And so like Josh was like scooping them up with a shovel and just like took his hands and like would bring them inside and then just lay them out on the table and flatten them out. So like it was just we're literally taking nature and throwing them on a table.
Dude, but it looked so cool the way it was like a little what's the word?
Like a sanctuary or something.
Those things
or-
that they have you make in like high school within like the shoe boxes, like
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
I know
tiny
what you mean.
little exhibit, like a little like you know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
forgot what those are called. Not
Yeah.
observatories, but something like that.
Like a biosphere
Biosphere, yeah.
or like whatever those little things that like you can grow moss in.
Yeah.
Diorama. Thank you, Nick Meyer.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it was like a big diorama art project.
Yeah.
Like something you would see in like a museum where there's
Yeah.
like a taxidermied like lion. Or, like,
And
a
the thing was too, so and honestly, we wouldn't have had all this carnage to the nature if there was any other way to film it for a stop motion thing. But like honestly, I was literally trying to film little bamboo guy out like behind his house. Like I was laying down on the ground and trying to get a good camera angle to try and get him to move. And I was gonna do it in the grass. I was gonna nail his feet into the dirt to like have him stand up. And it worked for a little bit, but the camera angle just wasn't good. So that's why we had to destroy all those plants and make a set.
Below, like table level to like
Yeah.
get, like it's just like the ground thing going on. Dude, you
Mhm.
should have hired Leica Studios for it. Fucking
I know.
10 people, that would have been insane.
We were watching videos on that because we were trying to get ideas, and like that was insane. Like how much work they put into those.
Yeah, it's almost crazy. Like that watching them makes me think like almost the same thing about like all of the effort that you put into your thing. It's like the animation looks amazing, but like I feel like while you're watching it, like nobody's thinking about like how much effort is actually going on like behind the
Oh
scenes.
yeah.
Every individual frame of effort that like goes into the whole thing.
Yeah, I never appreciated stuff like that until I did it. Like it seems so easy to like do stuff like that. And especially the stop motion part, once I started like learning how difficult that was, I was getting so frustrated. But I was like, all right, I can't give up on this. Same thing with like animating. Like I didn't realize how long it took to animate stuff. Just like for me to do like a 12-second video of me turning around, that trailer that I had for Cabin Fever, like that took me so much time to do. Fortunately, that was for the first song, so it wasn't like I was on a huge time crunch for that, but that still took me an insanely long time to do.
Yeah.
So Yeah, like I said, I think I'm doing it mostly for myself, just like to prove that I can do it.
Yeah.
But and building this whole story and trying to make a whole thing out of it and have it follow a theme and
The
so.
album release is going like amazing so far. What's Cabin Fever at? Like 20,000, I think.
Yeah,
Download.
yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
What is Little Bamboo at? Do we know? Probably not even 1,000 yet. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. It got to 1100
Oh, sick.
or it's at 1200, I think now. It's doing really well,
Yeah.
I would say.
Good. That's dude. Yeah. Fucking. I was like, I remember I looked at like Cabin Fever on day one, and it was like a couple thousand, and then the next day, like it's like 8,000 or some shit. I was like, damn, fucking. And then, yeah, I think it ended
Yeah.
up being what's yeah, like 20,000 right now. Not that that's like the biggest thing, but fucking big progress on that.
Yeah. It's,
Well,
you know, it's one of those things where it's like we'll just have to see how everything goes with like when the entire album's out. I'm not honestly not too worried. Like I need to I was talking on like my last stream. Oh shoot. Oh, I thought you lagged out. I was like, wait a minute. He froze. No.
oh
I was talking on my last stream about how like because I was going over like mental health with like music stuff because it really depends on like how serious you are with music. Like if you're doing it as a hobby, it's really not a big deal. But I found what I was talking about was like with plays and like likes and reposts and retweets and all of that. I was talking about how unhealthy that stuff is
yeah,
and
I know
how
it is.
it's really unfortunate because like honestly, it's natural for us to like
Want to
compare,
quantify it somehow, like
yeah, and like compare our value as like musicians based on
yeah,
how many plays we have. Like honestly, like I can get a lot of streams on a song and it wouldn't be enough. You know, a
right,
lot of people will be like that. I feel like, you can appreciate it, but then the thing is, there's always going to be someone better than you,
yeah,
right? Regardless of how good you get, there's going to be someone better than you. You can be like, and I was even thinking about, an artist named James Blake. He actually just released a new album
yeah.
today too. So James Blake, he has a song literally about that, like comparison and how he's like he compares himself to um, what's Billie Eilish's brother? What's
Uh,
his name?
is it like it starts with an F? Is it Finn or
Phineas.
something?
So yeah,
Phineas?
Phineas. So like the video that he has, the music video is literally him comparing himself to Phineas, and it's just like kind of in a joking way because
Yeah,
Phineas is in the video. But it's like that whole comparison thing. Like James Blake is a massive artist, and he has like, I think over like 7 million monthly listeners on Spotify and stuff. Like the numbers don't necessarily matter, but like when he's comparing himself, he's looking at, you know, artists that are way larger. So like he's going to constantly compare himself, and that's kind of a weird thing because like you almost lose sight of like what you have.
yeah.
So
It's a
that's kind of
crazy
a tough
concept
thing to
too.
do.
I never really like considered the idea that bigger artists still compare themselves, like even when they're up there. Because like even right now, like I feel like I don't compare myself too much. But I feel like I
Right.
can almost see how it would become even more of an issue the bigger that you get, because then you're like, now that you know that you can get people to pay attention to what you're doing, like
Yeah.
maybe you expect it more or something, or like are wondering you're what you could be doing to get to that place, like
Yeah.
or like I don't know. I guess I kind of do that now a little bit, but it's never been
Yeah.
too bad.
It's tough. Like it's totally understandable for people to like compare themselves because that's just a human trait. Like it's a part of survival in a way. But that's what I was saying in the last stream is like the the thing that I like you got to understand, and at least I got to understand too, is like when it comes to numbers and things with social media, right? It's sometimes just algorithm based, and sometimes just
Yeah,
the right thing at the right time,
just like
and
life
yeah,
RNG.
yeah, like you just can't. Some stuff you just can't control, but it doesn't mean your music isn't amazing, and it
Yeah,
actually it could still your value as like a musician is still there. It's just it's not. It's just the internet is just being a pain. Like it's
I
just
do
not
kind of wonder what that thing is that like could sort of like shift things for me a little bit. Like I mean, I feel like
right.
I've been doing a lot of small things to like sort of promote and like sort of grab people's attention here and there. But I feel like I'm so used to like not having things like take off in the way that I expected them to. That
Right.
like my expectations like are so low now to the point where like I just release stuff and like just call it a day. Like it's like at that like I'm not like some big artist is gonna like hear it and it's just gonna be this thing. Like that left like a long time ago. Like I'm just
Yeah.
like at this point I'm just creating for the sake of creating, and like whatever comes out of it comes out of it.
Well, honestly, that's a really good way to look at it because I feel like, if you're doing it just because you're doing it for yourself, that's the way you should do
Yeah.
it. Because then if you get into like the toxic mindset of like, all right, I got to figure out how I'm gonna like, get more streams and get more of this, right? Then that becomes a lot more stressful.
Yeah.
And that's just you doing that. That's you doing it to yourself,
Yeah.
because I tend to
I
do that too.
I
But
lost the part of myself, like like I feel like growing up, everybody has that like part of themselves. It's like I want everyone to know who I am, and I used to like smoke a lot of weed, and like for some
right.
reason like that shit like fell out of my system. Like I still like think about the concept sometimes, like what it would mean, but I'm not
Mhm.
like it's not like my primary objective in any sense. Like and honestly like I just want to get to a place with it where I feel like the creation like allows for more creation, like making the thing like brings in the resources to continue making the thing, just so I can
Yeah,
be in a
and
constant
that's
state of,
tough.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a really
that
tough thing
is,
to
I
do.
mean that's where every artist wants to be. I don't want anything more than that though, like
That's true. I mean, who knows? Because like the thing is, your perspective will shift. Like when you get to that point,
yeah,
I feel like, once you get to a point, you're like, oh, if I could get this, then maybe I could get this, and
yeah,
then, you know, and there's also like the mindset I heard from like, I think from I forgot who I heard it from, but it's like everything that you do, it's like it should be almost like why not? Like that's how you should look at everything, right? So like it's like why should I do this thing, or why should I try this thing? It's like, well, why not, right?
right,
So that's kind of my mindset that went into the album because I was like, I can't make a music video, or I can't like film
right,
or do art or like animation. I mean, and I was like, well, why can't I? Like, I just thought I couldn't because
yeah,
I didn't like think about it. It's stuff I've wanted to do and I thought I've always been interested in, but I've never like put much thought into it.
yeah,
And then I was like, well, why can't I do it? Like, I taught myself how to make music. It took a long time to do music, but I was like, I've got like the mindset where I could just like learn to do other things and learning how to promote and like doing other, like
yeah,
researching stuff like that. Honestly, I found like a YouTube channel. They're not like the best, but I was researching because the thing is like, you know what else too is kind of tough because you always have like these advertisements for like promoting yourself as a musician like
yeah,
on Instagram and stuff, which is stupid. But
annoying,
there's some resources on YouTube that honestly have helped me out a lot, even with this album. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Like I could have done this and I could have done this to make my release a little better.
yeah,
So, but yeah, like I guess what I was trying to get to was like for you, like you're saying, you feel like you just release songs just to release them now, and you have the same way of releasing them. But I think already, like what you're saying with this new album you're working on, I think that's a really good way to go is to try a different strategy with it,
yeah,
and try something else. Maybe go into it not with like the highest hopes, because honestly, like I've done that before where it's like, all right, well, I did all these different things, so I'm expecting a different result or
right,
something, right?
yeah,
So, but if you could try and do different things every single time,
yeah.
new strategy, I think you never know, like honestly might work out.
Yeah.
Like,
The main thing
you
is
just
like
never know.
the people that I meet as a result of it, and like also just like in like my friends' cars, like listening to it and like sharing it with people that also make music, and then they show me theirs, and it's just like it's just like the music itself and like the community around it is really like the only thing, like the only sort of gratification that I've learned to expect, which is like the only gratification that's never really gone away. It's like that part of it I feel like will always be there, like the sharing and um just like growing closer to it, and also having a way to like express your ideas to people around you in a way that is a little bit less like concrete, or like something that's a little
Yeah.
bit less like just with words, like conveying the emotion, like showing how you're
Yeah.
really feeling through that means, which is always really cool. There's so many more things that come out of it for me than just like, you know, I,
Yeah. I was even thinking recently, like I have always the sort of gratification I've always like, and people should get, is when you play a song for someone that you know really well and they enjoy it. Like that's a
yeah,
good friend or like anyone, if you play your song for someone and they genuinely enjoy it,
yeah,
um, that's a really good thing because obviously on the internet it's a little different because the one thing I've always noticed, and this is understandable, and I think I've talked about this before, is like as musicians, it's also tough for us to share music with each other because we're also like doing our own things and we're trying
yeah,
to build on our own. We're building our own ship. So like
right,
you showing me your ship and how decked out it is kind of tough
right,
because like
yeah,
I'm already trying to build something.
right,
So yeah, as like musicians, it's kind of a tough thing. But I feel like if you can have like almost unbiased, like just people listen to your song and just be like, share with them and see what they think. Like that's always a really nice gratification, especially good friends. I've
right,
shown so many songs and I've shown all the songs on the album to Josh
right,
and he loves it. Like, and honestly, he doesn't even listen to music. He's such an old fashioned person. He doesn't listen to music like at all. And, he's always excited for me to
yeah,
play the songs for him. And to me, that's amazing. Like, I basically,
right,
he's not wanting to listen to any other song but mine. Like, that's crazy.
yeah,
That's
yeah. I
enough
know my
gratification to be
friend,
honest.
my girlfriend like listen, like she like always, like I don't even realize like how much she listens to my music because she's logged into my SoundCloud, so it's just like I don't see the play counter go up, but like she like
Yeah.
every once in a while she'll be like, I start my day off by like driving to work or like walking to school by like listening to like your new works in progress and stuff. And like my friend Bridget like showed her brother and his girlfriend like one of my unreleased songs, and like they love it, and like they play it in the car all the time, and they're like that's like the only problem I have is like I don't know like how to say thank you enough to that, like I'm just I get like awkward. I'm like because like it's like the best, one of the best things about it, but also I don't even really know how to react to it. Like,
Right.
like I couldn't like, if it were up to me, I'd probably say like give a whole like 10-minute spiel on why it means the world to me that you like say that kind of stuff. But like you can only
Yeah.
really just say like thank you, like that's awesome, you know.
Yeah. It's tough to like yeah, it's tough to say thank you. I know Laxity is really has a tough time saying thank you for
Dude,
things and like
Laxity's amazing.
yeah.
He's
I went
fucking,
to speaking of Laxity, like, and speaking of like thanking someone, he played a show in Montreal. It was actually his first show. I actually was at his first show, which was actually insane. I drove out
oh,
to Montreal, Canada, and Maxime was there, and
oh yeah, you
Laxity.
three had like a work in progress together at one point, right? That never got finished.
Yeah, we that was there. Like we literally on my laptop, we just had it, and we like worked on something for a little bit. But
Whoa.
Laxity, he's such an awkward guy. He had fans drive out from like farmland Canada. I don't know how long. No, they drove like 3 hours or something to come see him for his first show, and they showed up wearing his hoodie from his merch site, and
What?
like and Josh was so humbled, but he was like, I don't even know what to say, and like
Yeah.
he like we were in this venue. This was before he even performed. They're like, yeah, we drove out here to come see you. We live about 3 hours out, and he showed up with his hoodie on, and he like pulled me to the side, and he's like, what do I say to them? He's like, what do I do? I'm like, what do
Yeah.
you mean? Just say thank you. They just drove this far for you. He's like, but I'm
Amazing
nervous.
moment. Like that's because I mean that like I wouldn't fucking know how to react. I would not. Like if somebody said that they like drove to come to see me or like flew or did any like went out of their way to pay like to be there to like
Yeah.
celebrate whatever it is that I created that they resonated with, like that would be like, I mean, I'd probably just give them a hug, maybe cry a little bit. I don't
Yeah.
know,
Well, the thing
like
is, they'd love to see that. Like, that's how it should be. Like, if you get emotional, maybe that's what it is. Maybe you don't want to be emotional, but
yeah,
if you're like emotional, you should show it because people love that.
yeah, like
People
yeah, because
love to
that's
see
I
them.
guess that is like the actual like if you could like put your thankfulness into a ball and give it to them in some physical way, I feel like that is what like the crying might suffice, because then you're like
Right.
that's the only like I feel like genuine expression of like, you know, gratitude. I mean, say it as much as you want, but showing it is a different thing.
Well, think about it like this too. So say you're starting out and you start getting people that are like that. You know, maybe appreciate if you know what I almost know 100% you're gonna get experiences like that, especially when you start performing and doing stuff. You're gonna get experiences like that. I would say appreciate them, because what would happen is, like, say you become successful, right? Those sort of opportunities might show up less and less. I don't know. That's the way I would imagine. Like, if you say you're like a successful musician and you have like those like one of a kind people that are like showing up with your merchandise, showing up and like saying they drove that far, you should like really appreciate those moments and do anything you can to like chat with them. If they want to chat with you, like, chat with them, which is kind of crazy. But like, honestly, actually, speaking of that, okay, all right, so one of them left, but actually, speaking of people that have like showed up at my shows that knew my music, Josh Diamond, he's in this chat right now. Oh, and Chalbert, both of them are in here. So Chalbert I met in Blacksburg, Virginia, and then Josh Diamond I met in this town called Boone, North Carolina, and those were two college towns that I played at on my little mini tour, and I met them there. And Chalbert drove out from. But where'd he drive from? He was like from DC, and he like drove out to Virginia to come see me.
Yeah.
And I like worked so hard to get him in there, because like, for reasons I can't say, he was not allowed to be in there.
Classic.
But yeah, but I worked my way to get him in there so he could see it, and you know,
dude,
but just meeting people like that. Yeah.
Your like appreciation and like genuinity with the people that you talk to is like unmatched. I mean, fucking.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't see myself as like too big to like not talk to people. Like, I'm still a human being, so I'm not even that like, you know, I've got like a SoundCloud following and stuff, and honestly, it opens my eyes more, especially when I hear from people and start to get to know them. I'm like, wow, like my music really does that for you, like. That definitely opens my eyes, but a lot of the times I don't see myself as like a big musician, and I never want to get to that point. You always got to stay humble. Like, you can't. That's like a tough thing to do, because you know, there's a lot of musicians that I know that like have just shut themselves. Like, they get to a point and they just shut themselves out. And I don't know if that's whether they just like don't want to deal with it, or if maybe they just have had too many negative experiences talking to people.
I feel like at a certain point with artists, it becomes like you can't really tell who's trying to take whatever from you. But like like I don't think we really like. Yeah. No, that happens like way far out.
Way further on, yeah.
Off the deep end type shit. Like, not anything. I would have totally done the same thing like 1,000 times over. Like, if somebody like was like 20 and they needed, or you know, hypothetically needed to like somehow get into the show, I would obviously fucking like be like, yo, come check this out. Like, I'm so happy that you like put it like the effort into like trying to get here and shit. Like, you know.
Yeah, dude.
That's what.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Sorry.
But no, you're good. I was actually reading Chalbert's message. Because Chalbert was the one that I had to get in. What do you say? I remember, I think he got a bit aggressive with the venue, because they originally just didn't want to let me in. But because I didn't get aggressive. Yeah, sort of, because I was like, we got to get him in, because he was from DC. I'm like, I'm not gonna have him drive that far and then not see my show. Like, he wants to see me perform. So like, I want him to see me perform.
Yeah, right.
So I was like, I want him to be here. I was like, can we just like do something, like, you know, to get him in? Like, so we made it work. But see, that was awesome. Like, you know, those sort of things, they make connections with people, and that always is important. I feel like, you know, I wish if there was an artist I looked up to, I wish that, you know, if I went to go see them, that'd be freaking insane. Honestly, like, an artist I look up to that, I mean, I don't want to say too much, but like Grabbits, for example. I've gotten to know Grabbits really well, and I I'm super grateful because he's such a humble human being. Like he's such
Yeah.
a wonderful person.
Yeah.
And it's crazy getting to know someone like him because I look up to him and I see him as a massive artist, right?
Yeah.
Or a really big artist. I mean, he plays at Lost Lands, you
He
know.
made
And
fucking top 100 or something in America with Pigs in the Sky, dude. Is
yeah,
that?
he was top 50 on the radio charts for alternative rock or something, or
Yeah.
alternative indie alternative or something. And so he's like in the top 50 for that on radio
Yeah.
stations for that. So which is
True.
insane. So he's
I
been
mean,
doing really well.
the concept that I would turn on a radio and like hear Grabbits on the radio. Like I never I like not that like I don't think he's like an amazing artist and deserves to be on the radio because he totally fucking does, and it makes total sense that he would like get that. But it's just
Right.
like I always consider him like, you know, like in kind of like the electronic scene and shit, and like seeing him all the way up there is like so amazing. Like
Yeah.
I feel like he finally is like getting the attention that he deserves, and like the fucking
Yeah.
music video, like how
Yeah.
how even
Honestly, yeah, and that's amazing to me. Like he's going a whole different direction. Like,
yeah
and you know, so I was having a conversation with him. He actually did a debut of like his music video
yeah
for Pigs in the Sky, and I showed up there. And I was talking to his friend who, speaking of friends that help make music videos, his best friend from school actually
oh no
helped him
way
direct. He's actually a film, like he actually makes films and stuff,
right
and in Buffalo. And so I was there and I got to talk to both of them. And after they literally like debuted the or premiered the music video at a theater, so we
right
got to watch it in a movie theater and they had popcorn and stuff, and it was insane. Like it was such a
yeah
cool thing to do for fans, right?
right
So we were there, and then afterward, Gravitz did like an acoustic set, and he
right
sang on it and all that. And afterward, I just happened to go to the bar like next door to it, and then all of a sudden, there's Gravitz and his friend and like all the other people that worked on the music video. They had like a whole team of people making the music video,
yeah yeah
and they
yeah
showed up. And Gravitz knew me from like the time that I'm actually in the music video. It's only my phone. You can see my phone.
oh
There's like
okay yeah yeah
there's a scene where there's like a crowd of people
right
and you can see people's phones flashing.
yeah
My
yeah yeah
orange phone is like on the left side of the screen when you watch it. But
that's so
anyways,
sick
I like got to talk to him that day. But so he recognized me from that time, and I kind of like messaged him and sent him a song. Actually, I sent him Cabin Fever before it
yeah
went out, and he just like walks in with them and hanging out, and I just kind of ended up just like chatting with them, and I was like, dude, yeah, I really liked your set, your acoustic set. It's like, yeah, I screwed up on the, you know, my voice cracked
yeah
at this one part in this one song. I'm like, no, dude, like I didn't notice that. And I'm like, I'm a musician, like I would notice things like that.
yeah
And I told him that, and he was like, yeah, but you know, it was really bad. I'm like, no, man, I think it was great. And I was like, if I think it's great, then I think I know there's no one that noticed it. So
yeah
he like looked at me. He was like, what? Really? I'm like, yeah. And he gave me a
the
hug and he was
actual
so
moment
happy.
just
But
like for
I guess
real
yeah, like what I was getting to with that is it's kind of crazy seeing a bigger artist like that still be
yeah
like so sensitive and
yeah
nervous and scared. Because I think we talked about that before. It's like
yeah
we would think someone who's a bigger artist, they got themselves all figured out and have everything
nope
taken care of.
still
But
human still human
yeah,
still very much human, and the attachment to the idea that you're unworthy of the attention, or it's all coming from this place of like, you know, you've probably been told that you don't deserve it before, or you've been made to feel like you weren't as good or deserved the attention that you were being given, like being in the
right,
spotlight, or like that messing up isn't okay when you get to like that point in your career or something. Like
yeah,
there's so many weird psychological things. I don't even think like I haven't been put into an experience where I feel like I could understand all that all of the mental fuckery that goes on to what, like when you get to like his point in a music career. But I
yeah,
have performed before, and it was the most awkward, scary thing. Like somebody paid me $500 just like out of the kindness of their heart, just to like just to see me do it. Just like, if you do this, I'll pay you $500, and they did. And but I stood up there and I couldn't, like, I was just making eye contact with my mom the entire time. I just like looked at her the entire time, and I could not look away. I was just like locked in, because I was
Yeah.
just petrified, and it was only like 15 people, and like I
Right.
know like it's but and everybody was like it was so good. Like like nobody's thinking about how you thought it went.
Oh yeah. I
They're
feel
thinking,
like that's so understandable though. Like especially were you singing live? Is that what it was?
yeah. And I was
Okay.
singing like I didn't have like my rig. Like usually I would use like a little bit of like pitch correction for live, just
Yeah.
to like have and then have like effects and like reverb and stuff that and have it being like run through different tracks. But I didn't bring my audio box, so I couldn't sing through my own microphone. So they just gave me a microphone, and it was just like raw vocals, sing over your
Well,
tracks.
that's even harder. Like that's
Yeah,
understandable. And honestly, like singing is super like vulnerable, so that's totally
yeah,
understandable why you would be freaked out. Like I would be freaked out too because I mean, I sing in my songs and I'm not ready. Like I don't know if I'm ready to start singing live yet, you know?
yeah,
So, I
right,
mean, honestly, I feel like I am like as long as I'm like DJing at the same time, I definitely will.
yeah,
But no, in your case, honestly, that's completely understandable. I would be so freaked out.
yeah.
But
And
I
my
think
voice,
actually,
like with the nerves, like my whole
oh
body
yeah.
was just like fluttering and like holding the microphone and then like trying to get a tone out while like my whole like my throat's just like shaking, like everything
And you're
with the
scared.
breath.
Yeah, yeah. That is understandable, dude. And I feel like even from I know this is like a weird comparison, but like the whole process of like this album has kind of opened my eyes to like really like overcoming like certain fears. Um, you feel so much better when you do, and when you get used to it. Like, so an example is like making those music videos. Like, I hate seeing myself, or I used to hate seeing myself on camera.
Yeah,
Um, and I wasn't used to seeing what I looked like when I sang, right? Even though I was lip syncing to the song,
right.
I was like, I don't like how I look. This is like weird. This freaks me out. Like
Yeah,
I'm mentally not prepared to look at myself in a music video, like quote unquote acting or
right.
walking or anything, right?
I feel
Especially in a
like
serious sense.
it's because like the part of you knows that you're trying to like put on a performance, maybe like I
Yeah.
feel like there is like sort of a weird thing, like an uncanny valley feeling when you look at yourself like trying to put on a show for someone in a way,
Yeah.
like for people that are used to being like genuine. I feel like it is like difficult to see yourself being like all, like trying to look cool or like trying to like look like something that people will be interested in, like trying to like portray yourself in that way. Like you're seeing almost like a different, like maybe a version of yourself that is like not entirely as close to true to you as it can be while still putting on like an entertaining
Yeah, or
performance, I
play
guess.
or like playing a character in a way,
Yeah,
but it's still me. Yeah, and that's the way I would see with you doing vocals, right? It's like you aren't used to sharing those vulnerable things in front of people with people
right.
looking at what you look like while you
Yeah,
sing, because you're imagining now what you look like while you sing, and you're
yeah,
like, all right, well now they're seeing what I would imagine I see my, it's just it's
yeah.
like a whole messed up thing.
And that's
Um,
why it's like why I like doing like putting my vocals into songs, is because that way I don't have to like take time out of someone's day to tell them all my problems. Like they can listen to them if they want to, but I'm not throwing it
yeah,
in front of their face. And also I'm like expressing it in a more like complex and like a little bit of a deeper dive. But that whole thing gets thrown out the window when I'm performing in front of people, because then I'm telling them and having them pay attention to my problems live, and like basically asking for everyone to pay attention to to what I'm doing in that moment. It just feels like, I don't know. I've always had a weird thing about like asking like for people to like pay attention to me. I'm very much like sort of in the background.
yeah.
Like so when I like if everyone's there together and like I'm with my friends, I don't mind like having them focus in on me for a second, but normally I do like to be kind of like a little bit in the back just chilling, but like
Yeah.
you know, I don't like
And
being
that's a
like,
good
"Hey, let's
personality
do."
to have. It's a
Yeah.
tough personality because, like, I mean, I feel like I'm kind of like that too, but it's tough because, like, when you're a musician as well, like, you almost have to share yourself, but you don't know where to, like, draw the line either.
Yeah.
It's good that you're like that because at least you'll know when to stop
Right.
being, because you don't want to be, obviously, and that's probably why you're like that, is because you don't want to be that guy that's taking away attention from someone else that you may feel for some reason deserves it or something, you know. So
Yeah.
that might be another reason why. But like, it's tough because like when you're a musician, and that might be another reason why you don't care as much about sharing. I don't know if that's true. I'm just kind of guessing. But like one reason why you're like not as worried about pushing your song as much, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think,
Definitely the
you know.
same. Those issues are totally intertwined for sure.
Yeah. I'm just kind of trying to read you because I like
No, yeah,
reading people, but
yeah.
because I don't know. I'm
It's
trying to
all
also compare
underneath
myself.
this like psychological layer of like do like it's always been about like am I asking too much from the world? But everybody tells me that it's okay to like you know grab people's attention. Like they're like I don't feel like you robbed me of my time because I listened to your song or because I
Right.
watched you perform for a second. Like we have a lot of time. It's all personal. Like it all has to do with
It's really
you.
tough. Yeah, because you know what else too? I was just thinking, like, with you, I feel like, or someone had said this before, and I don't know who said this. If you're super critical of how you are like perceived toward like from others, like obviously as a musician, right, or around your friends, like in a friend group, and you want to share a song with them, but you don't want to take up their time and you don't want to take up too much space from them. A lot of the times, what you would think would be annoying them, I forgot what they said. They said you're probably like five measurements or like five digits, like you're not even close, right? So just because of what type of person you are. If you were a totally different, like if you were cocky and you're just like always talking and always trying to show off and whatever, that's a different story. But because of how your personality is, I think in every situation, regardless of like music or anything, like if you're trying to like show something and you're already in your mind like, all right, is this annoying or is this like gonna be like not is this not something they're going to want to hear, or is this like
Yeah,
going to be taking up too much of their space? You're not even close to what they would actually think is
right,
annoying.
right. You're
You're
like yeah.
leaps away from that.
That
Um,
is true. I'm always like very careful about like picking my words or like picking times when I like try to ask people if they only if it seems like absolutely right. I'll like ask if they want to like hear one of my songs, like
yeah,
because otherwise it's just like then I'm gonna be sitting there the whole time thinking that like they're like they want me to shut up, like
right.
force this onto me. So I don't want to like I want it to like be their like decision to pay attention to it
Yeah,
entirely, like not something that just like forced in front of their face.
yeah, dude. Wow. I feel like a therapist right now. I don't know why I was doing that, but I like it.
The psychology of nervous musicians.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm like that too. I mean, I'm glad I've gotten to a certain point because honestly, I still worry about like oversharing and overdoing that because like I don't know what spam like I don't know when I'm getting to a point where I'm just spamming people.
Yeah,
You know, there was a video I saw where a guy was saying if you're and this is where I learned like on a release day, don't apologize for sharing your music to people because it's your release day. That's a
yeah,
big day. That's a like
right,
I was thinking about that even today, like with oh shit, I gotta read this message.
yeah.
Um hold on, let me read this. Dude,
That's crazy.
Jamin, I'm so sorry for you, but man, I appreciate that so much. Dude,
That's
that's
sweet.
already like such a meaningful thing.
Yeah,
Like you have no idea, man. Like I'm so sorry for that, bud. Like the fact that you even say that is just so meaningful. Like that's such a like a big that's such a big attachment. Like dude, oh my God, that makes me want to go on like a whole other thing with how music is. Like just how everything like sticks to music, right?
yeah. It's like the piece that sort of like helps glue reality together in a way that's a little bit less scary. It's like the universe's way of like comforting us.
Right.
Like everything's okay if the music's playing, I feel like or maybe not, and that's okay too. Like so but at least like it was there. You know, it's like a something that you a way to feel held when everything else feels like it's like falling
Right.
apart. I think, you know.
Yeah, dude. Jamin, dude, that's insane. That honestly, that's like it's so emotional to me that the fact that you would say that, and the fact that my song was there for that situation, because honestly, I have no idea like how that situation was for you, right? But the fact that like I don't know, that like the fact that my song was there in that situation, and it's just insane. Like I can't imagine like there's so many songs like that have been there for me like in terrible situations that have always stuck with me. So to me, that's extremely humbling. That I don't know. It's just humbling. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say. It's such a it's such a crazy thing, dude. But I appreciate it. I really appreciate that, dude. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, like even with like I was thinking like this is one of the reasons why I think music is such like a important thing, right? Because every single time like if I'm hearing a song, especially a song that I've heard before, right? It's always going to bring up a memory of like something from when I heard it, right? Or around the time, regardless even of like what the song's about, even if the lyrics don't match what I'm going through in a way. I've always found that like music that I listen to is going to it's gonna capture a time in my life, right?
Mm.
So every time that song comes on, it's gonna bring up those memories, or it's gonna bring up that time that happened in my life. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's always kind of like familiar in a way. So
Mhm.
some of my favorite songs that I've listened to have been that I like cherish the most are through like some of the worst times I've had, right? And I'll listen to those songs, and it's not because I want to be depressed, but it's like it's like some sort of comfort in a way
Yeah.
because it's like a memory, and I don't know, it's hard to
There,
explain.
there, there is a really weird, like, I'm sure music psychologists could explain it, but there is an aspect to music that is that is deeper than just the surface level listening. It's like when you smell something that reminds you of when you were a child, like that, like those like those senses like are hardwired into our psychology. Like when you and like songs can like do the same exact thing, and they can like bring you back to like how you felt during that time frame. Like there's an emotion that doesn't have a name that is tied to that time frame when you were listening to that song, or like,
Right.
you know, you can go back and you can think about, you can feel how you felt, and like remind yourself of where you were at. It like it carries so much, like a song can carry so much weight depending on like what was happening during the time of. Music is a universal language. It's weird,
Yeah.
like, because it's communicative, but it's also like retroactive in a way, like, and it's constantly like, you know, a song can like constantly change its meaning for you, like, you
And
know,
that's true. I was even thinking about that, right? And that's also what's tough too, is because like, my song Cabin Fever, it's like even thinking about the fact that that would be there for him, right? That to me is insane because like I've listened to songs that again, like what we were saying is like the words don't match necessarily like what we're going through, but sometimes they just fit perfectly in it. Like I've listened to some songs that are like about something completely different, but sometimes the words will just sit perfectly with a feeling that I have or like a thought that I have at that exact moment. And I'll be like, holy crap, like they just said what was on my mind. I don't know how to explain that, but that has happened a few times. And to me, like that's another big reason why I love music, especially music with vocals in it, because it's just like if they can do that, that triggers something. It like really sticks. That I mean, that's the thing. It sticks in your mind because you're like, if you can hear the words and on all of a sudden it's clicking to a scenario that you're going through or some sort of situation you're going through. I mean, that's it. Like, but that's what I mean. Like, there's some songs that I love that are again about something totally different, but there's just something about them, you know, something they said or some sort of words that they said that really fit with, you know, what I was going through. So yeah, that's the magic of music, man. It's crazy. Um, but absolutely insane. Um,
I know I've heard that. Yeah, Cabin Fever is one of my all-time favorite songs, dude. Fucking, I like there was go into my car and play it immediately a couple times a day, just like it's Cabin Fever time.
yeah,
Had to hear that wonderful piece of music.
dude, that's awesome. I played that song so much with for Josh, like it's
Yeah,
been insane. Oh, another thing. So I was trying to think, what was it we were talking about before? We were talking about how like, oh, singing live. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Being vulnerable. So when you're this is kind of like what I was actually wanting to get to. When it came to making the music video, or like say for you, like performing, right? When
yeah,
you're performing in front of people and you're not used to it, and you're like super vulnerable. I think that's what it is. When you're extremely vulnerable and then you like go through a super uncomfortable situation. I've like honestly, this whole album has been uncomfortable for me. Like everything I've done for this album so far has been super uncomfortable. Like the singing the vocals the way that I did, and then like a few months ago deciding to do music videos and being in the music videos, like
yeah,
that was super uncomfortable. And there were times like I was looking back on the footage and I think I was talking about that before, was like, oh, I don't like how I look. This is just weird. It's throwing
yeah,
me off. And so I almost didn't want to finish the video that way, or I didn't want to go through with it.
yeah,
So what I did was I was like, I'm gonna have like I forced myself to do it, and I like
yeah,
forced myself to. In fact, like so, there was the one time me and Josh were filming Cabin Fever music video, and so I went home. We were out filming, and I was like, all right, I don't like how this looks. I think we should stop for today. Like I really don't feel like filming anymore because I don't like what I'm looking at. So
yeah.
I took it home and I uploaded the footage onto my computer and I just like rewatched the footage
Mhm.
over and over. And I was like, this is so uncomfortable. I hate seeing how I look. It's just so
Yeah,
weird. And I kept watching it over and over and over. And same probably goes to like when I've seen like live performances of myself. Like I've seen some live performances where, you know, I'm DJing and stuff. I'm like, I don't like how I look in this. Like that looks so weird. Um,
oh, you look fucking sick on stage, dude.
oh, thank you,
So,
bud.
one of my favorite moments of my life was watching you in Michigan, dude. Like
Oh yeah,
that was massive in the rain and shit. And I
I
was like,
know.
I remember
Oh,
like
for
screaming the Matrix for some reason. I just
Oh,
screamed the
so I want
Matrix
to
like
tell
it
people
made
who are in
sense.
here. I want to tell people about that story actually. So for those that are in here, oh, Chalbert and Josh Diamond, they're gonna like relate to this because they've been to my shows,
Yeah,
which is actually insane. I mean these are all fam, but like it's still kind of funny that you guys are in here watching, so we
yeah,
can all have story time about this. But um, so me and QUO, or I told QUO that I was playing a festival in Michigan, which is actually an all dubstep or rhythm festival,
yeah.
which is cool. But I got invited to play there, and so he flew out there. Um, it was in the middle of nowhere, like North Michigan.
Oh
I
my
wouldn't
god,
say
yeah,
North
literally
Michigan,
like the
but
middle of nowhere. I feel so bad for the Uber driver that fucking like, and shout out to my girlfriend because otherwise, like, if she didn't like set it up for me to get out there, like, she did it like from New York, and set me up an Uber in Michigan to like to go to where it was, and like I was
wow.
like, where are we going? Like, this place is out there.
Yeah, that was out there for sure. Like, that's awesome. I'm glad. I was honestly really worried. So Josh Myers, the one who helped make the music video for Cabin Fever and helped make the new one, um, we both drove out from Buffalo, New York, to go out to Michigan, out to that middle of nowhere spot, and we showed up there. We were almost there, and it was started pouring rain, and we were so like, oh my god, it's gonna be pouring rain while
The
we're up
whole
here.
time.
Yeah, and because we showed up the second night, you were there for both nights,
Oh
um,
yeah, yeah,
and that was insane. So we were on our way there, and we're like, "Oh my god, how are we going to do this?" And we brought a tent with us and everything. So Josh and I showed up, and it actually calmed down with the raining for a little while. And QUO was already there. He already made his whole journey to be there, and he was there already like a full night.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you got like a whole other things that happened because it was raining so much. But me and Josh, when we pulled up, we saw these tents that were set up. You know, it was just kind of a small sort of campground, sort of like festival. It wasn't anything too massive. It was
Yeah.
still cool though, and they had some decent speakers and whatnot. But everyone had tents set up, different, like some had campers and whatnot. And so Josh and I were driving through the park, and we were like trying to find a good parking area to like set up our tent. And as we're driving through, we like it's all a field for the most part, and that's where all the tents were set up. And we like look out, and there's like this foresty area and all these trees, and we see this one little tent like out into the edge of the forest or out in the middle of the forest. And we're like, I wonder who's camping out there. And so we just like drive through and we start setting up our tents and stuff. And we're like, all right, let's go check this place out. And so me and him were walking around a little bit. And then all of a sudden I see this long-haired guy dancing like in front of the stage, like just jamming out with your scarf thing.
Dude,
I forgot what
I
those
do
are
go
called.
really hard at Wookfest. I consider myself to be among. I've been going to festivals since I
Yeah.
was a. That was the first one that I've ever done, like on my own though, that I've ever like flown out to and like actually.
Oh, dang.
But yeah, well that because I had to be there, like because I was gonna see you in fucking New York for that one show that got canceled like
Oh,
pre-COVID.
yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do it. I just have to do it.
I know, that was crazy. I'm honestly impressed that you went to that. But
Me
the
too. I can't.
yeah, that was
Honestly,
crazy.
when I think about it, I still kind of can't. Still here? My phone turned off.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, you just disconnect for a
I
second.
still kind of can't believe, like, I mean, I've gone to places before on my own, but that was like the first festival that I've done by
Yeah.
myself, and like it was kind of scary. I was like, usually I like to be with friends.
Yeah, I was worried about you for a while. Like,
Yeah.
that
I
was
know you were
kind of,
like, is he good? But there was just no service there. Like, there was
yeah.
no anything really. Like, I mean, like I couldn't. If you had texted me asking me how I was, I wouldn't have been able to like get back to you
That's
at
what it
all.
was. So, like, we first got there, or we were on our way there, and I was just making sure you were there, and I had no idea, and I was getting kind of nervous about it. But, you know, we still found you, and you were jamming out, and you were having fun, so that was cool. Like, that made that, you know, I was
Yeah.
genuinely worried because I was like, well, you were driving from a long way away, too, from, like, Traverse City to get to it, which is pretty far.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, but yeah, so, you know, Josh and I, we showed up, we hung out with QUO and, you know, everyone, and we jammed out. And then that night I played my set and it started pouring rain. And which is unfortunate, but QUO was still there. He
Oh yeah. I
still
was right,
stuck
right in the
around.
middle. Just it was like it felt like it was just me and you at a certain point, like because I mean there
And
were
not
like
only
people
that,
around.
yeah, like we were playing and then I played Little Bamboo and I was like I wanted like a whole spotlight on QUO because it was his part to sing and you were singing it. And it was so
Yeah.
funny.
That
That
was
was, I mean, it was just awesome. It was such a magical moment.
yeah. It really did feel like kind of not real for a second. That's why I just shouted Matrix.
Matrix, yeah.
I was just like the Matrix. It's like I mean it's like it's not even that hard to imagine that like a song that I made with someone could be played out of a stage and I could be there to watch it. But like
Yeah.
I was just like you know like after like being there like the whole journey to like make it happen and like finally seeing it all happen.
And
Like,
also,
it was, like,
yeah, the whole
fun.
struggle of you getting there made it even crazier, made it more
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for us to
I
drive all
found
the
my
way.
own way through.
Yeah, exactly. Like we both did. I mean,
Yeah.
we were like worried that the thing wasn't going to happen like because of
Yeah.
all the rain.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't like a crazy amount of people. Like a lot of people didn't show up because of the rain, which is fine, you know, but I
Yeah,
still had
and
a good time.
also fucking I think Subtronics was playing at somewhere close by. It
Oh
got
yeah.
overshadowed by a Subtronics show or some shit, but
And also, well, the Subtronics show got canceled because of the
oh,
rain.
it did.
Apparently, I don't know if that's true or not. But
Oh, okay.
I think they were saying that they were hoping it was, but I don't know if it did. But
Yeah,
that was
yeah, I'm
still
not sure.
magical. That was
Yeah,
crazy. You know,
it was still like what?
yeah. I was just saying, you know, we'll have another one soon in Buffalo, and
Yeah,
so
can like I mean even if it's not like Base Face Collective or whatever, like if you just like fucking because I really want to do like a local fest, like something small, like
Well,
around
you
New York.
know,
I'm only like a couple hours. I'm only an hour and a half from the New York border, and like
oh really?
yeah, I could drive up to Buffalo at like pretty much any time. Like it wouldn't be bad at all.
Well, honestly, so I do have a show planned. I don't know if it's set up completely,
Yeah.
but I have a show planned for January 21st in Buffalo. Actually, at the
Oh,
same
word.
place that was canceled the last time.
Oh,
Um,
is it the bar?
yeah, it's called Stamps. So like
Hmm.
I'm gonna be performing there on the 21st, and I'm setting up a lineup for that too. So honestly, that would be magical if you showed up to that too. But that's a
I'll
long drive,
absolutely be
dude.
there. No, I'll
That's a
totally be
long
there.
freaking
It's
yeah.
probably like 5 hours for me. That's totally doable if I can bring a couple friends and shit. Like
Oh
I do
damn,
drives
that'd be
like that. Like
crazy.
yeah, I mean we just drove to fucking Pennsylvania for Big Dub, which is what I texted you about because I think you should do the DJ battle there because
Oh right.
it's a really sick festival. And then also you could probably like that's where that like Subtronics like goes to that festival just because like it's like a really cool kind of like an undergroundish scene, but like a lot of
Yeah.
artists like start coming up there. Like I met a lot of cool people that like started there and shit and like have been like working with their way up onto the lineups and stuff. We drove there. That was fucking way out in Pennsylvania, and then we just drove to Evolutions, which was like 4 almost 5. I think it was actually pretty
Dang.
close to where you're around. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, for shows and shit, like it's always worth it for me. I don't mind going far,
Yeah, dude. That's crazy.
especially for the man himself.
Come on, I'm not that. Come on.
Don't sell yourself short, buddy. I
Well,
was
I
about to
can't.
do it. I went all the way to Michigan for your ass.
I
Get
know.
real.
I know.
Get real.
I know. But I'm doing what you do. I can't. I don't like. I
Yeah, yeah,
don't
yeah.
want
I
to.
know, I know,
I don't
I
want to be.
know,
I don't want to be that guy. I'm not gonna be
I
that
know.
guy.
I know it's like
See, that's a tough thing,
you
man.
don't
I
have
don't.
to. I feel like neither of us have to be as humble as we are. I even hate saying that. Like I'm humble because it sounds like a brag somehow. Because I'm
I know,
like
isn't that weird? Like, I don't even know what to freaking do. Like, I don't want to be too humble, and then I don't
it's
want to
such a
be
mind
like,
fuck, and nobody
yeah,
even
and then
cares. Like nobody even really cares. Like it's so personal that like nobody like
yeah,
if you were to like take on anyone else's like mental bullshit with the whole like am I good enough thing, like I think your brain would just explode. Nobody has enough brain capacity to think about
yeah.
everything you're doing.
Honestly, my brain can barely handle like trying to figure itself out, anyways. So like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
already tough. Like, trying to figure out what to do. Like, trying not to be too, especially with music stuff, it's just so tough because like I want to be proud of my music stuff, but then I don't want to be too cocky about it to where people are like, all right. Because
yeah,
there
yeah,
was like honestly, there were times like I do realize like when Guru came out, um, I would just kind of slap the link into Discord servers just because it was like, well, I want to get the song out there,
yeah,
and then I started realizing that I was being the person I did not want to be, and people did
yeah,
not like it. But it's understandable because I think that was because it was I was well personally I was just throwing them into general chat. So I at the
yeah.
time I didn't know that was a rule to that. So I
I
was
didn't
just
know
like
that there
throwing
was
them
like
in.
there's like a whole like Discord like rule set, like unspoken rules and shit.
Yeah,
Like if it's not written down in like the channel rules, like how are you really supposed to know? So I get
yeah. You learn from the mistakes because I
yeah.
figured that out. Like people were like getting tired of me throwing my links in there, and then people would love it. But then there'd be some people that were like, yeah,
Stop
dude.
posting your shitty.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You deserve fucking general chat.
I
These are
don't know.
jokes.
People say that all the time, and that's still not cool. It's not cool for me
Yeah.
to do that when other people also deserve that potential. You know what I mean? Because that
Yeah.
alone, think about that, right? That alone, you saying that alone, it's like, nah, man, you deserve to put it in general chat, but no one else does. So,
No, that a lot of people do, like, but
but yeah, you know what I mean, though. Like once
yeah.
you start saying that, then it's like, oh well, you know what? I
No.
am gonna keep putting it in general. Well, I can't say anything either. I throw whatever into my freaking Discord
No,
server's
that's
general chat.
why you create your own like you did.
I know I
It's
shouldn't do that either because I'm such a hypocrite. Because I'm like, all right, guys, don't post in general. And then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna post my song real quick in general.
You totally should have that authority though. I mean, it's your server.
No, I can't. I can't do that. I gotta stop doing that. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm gonna
Well,
still
everyone's there
forgive
because
myself.
they're excited to like get like they're gonna see it anyways. Like you might as well like. There's nobody's gonna be like, oh, the admin posted his new music in the general chat
I
server.
don't know. You never know. There's someone that might be like that and be like, that piece of crap.
That piece of
JKuch
crap
made
can't
his
get
own server, and now all he does is slap his music in there, and he doesn't
the
even talk to no
general,
one.
the
Yeah,
arbiter of fucking general chat.
yeah. Well, that's all right, I guess.
Yeah, I think we should.
Anyways, dude, you know what I think we should do? I think we should wrap this up. I think this was. I honestly feel like this is just a nice phone call. I didn't even. I almost forgot we're doing a live stream.
No, yeah, 'cause I feel like we didn't really like mull over what happened fucking like in Michigan and shit. This is the first time we've actually talked like sort of face to face since then.
Oh,
So
true.
it was nice to actually catch up like voice wise because we don't fucking do video calls or voice chat like
I don't
ever
do
at
any
all.
video calls with anyone I need to. I'm just like,
No, I just like it just text works fine. Like I never really felt like there was a reason other than just like like shooting the shit because that's really what it ends up being when you do like FaceTime shit like this. Like
well, I like that though because you need to messaging people is tough because like you kind of get used to a certain way of talking to people through
yeah,
messages and you forget what their personalities. You don't forget, but you kind of like
that's
get
true.
lost in the conversations of just like back and forth, like A and
Yeah,
B conversations through that. But like,
right.
yeah, I think it's a lot better to have phone calls, and I need to do it a lot more for sure. I definitely want to.
Yeah,
I say that a lot though, because there's a lot of people I should be doing that for anyways, like that I'm still good friends with that live in different states. Like I
yeah.
should be doing that for.
It
So
just I don't really like the whole like I'm more of a face to face person anyways. But it's weird because like text seems to somehow fill the void just fine.
yeah,
Strangely
well,
enough.
call me anytime, man. I don't mind.
Yeah,
You just let me know.
all right. Yeah. Thanks
Don't
for taking
overthink it
time out
either.
of your day and shit. This was fun. I'm glad we got to catch up, and I hope
Yeah.
some people enjoyed this for this whatever
Yeah,
amount of time they
absolutely. I think some of the mental health talk will help. Like that's actually honestly why I'm going to keep doing these Instagram lives every now and then because I love talking about mental. I think that's a cool concept to just talk about mental health with me
Yeah,
like as a
Marcus
musician and
Met was
stuff.
doing that for a little while, right? He was doing like a sort of a like a mental health
Mhm.
live stream or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Or
I think that's the way to go. I think a lot of people should do that. So
yeah,
because it's accurate, you know. So I think it's really a healthy thing to do, especially for people that need it, you know.
yeah,
I don't know, I have my camera there. But yeah, I think we should do this again. Probably not like another live stream, but we should call again. And
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
next month when I release Lighthouse, I'm gonna have another live stream too.
Oh
So
yeah. And thank you to Josh DM for saying thing he'll check me out and put in a face to the voice. And
heck
everybody
yeah,
in here is super cool. These people were super nice. Thanks for
yeah,
sticking around,
absolutely.
bro.
Also, I'm gonna upload this on my Insta. I'm gonna have this whole thing on my Instagram if that's cool
Okay,
with you.
yeah, yeah, for
If you're
sure.
cool with that. All right. Well, I'll see everyone later. I'll see you later, Quo. It was
Later,
good
Josh,
talking to you, bud.
for sure.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Have a good night. See ya.